Because a request by my team in Europe, because in Europe, in Paris, Czech Republic, we have Switzerland team. It will be evening their time, but I just realized that my assistant forgot to post it onto the Europe group. But definitely moving forward, this is consistently every Tuesday, one to cater to Europe and also many of our North American leaders that has people in California for Indian market. I am excited for the biggest market launch of this company history. I appreciate you, Michelle, for the kind introductions. And one thing I want to do is, both my husband and I, and if we have Indian people logging in, last night we did our meet and greet, and we got three Indian business entrepreneur, one teacher from Vietnam, and two sound like businessmen. We're excited, to really focus on and get a piece and helping, our leadership team, achieving a piece of the biggest market in the world. Both my husband and I, he came from we both came from Silicon Valley, and I choose a career in nursing and he in engineering. But ultimately, everything we do in our life really lead us to a certain point, right? And what we want to share with you here today as we launch the biggest market is to help each and every one of you on this Zoom and our guests to truly empower, your life. And right now, as our company, focus on, the opening of the India market, I am excited. I felt like 16 years ago when we have a vision of launching, helping putting together the leadership team that launching Vietnam market, and now we're on to one of the biggest market in the world, right? Is India, and why we believe this is the biggest. And I want to show you a quick video, and then I'll move on to, there's so much excitement happening in our company and around the world right now.
This market is 1.4 billion people.
India, with a direct selling market of $3.2 billion, the fifth largest economy and the fastest growing one. It has a population where nearly 65% are younger than 35, and it is the world's second largest English-speaking country, with local communities all around the globe. Think globally, build locally.
Yes, we want you to imagine the opportunity, and wherever you're tuning in from, yes, you can focus locally where your market is at. I mean, I see that we have, leader calling in from California. I mean, there's Indian everywhere in the California, in Europe, in Vietnam, and but you want to think big, because I truly believe, what the mind can see, believe, and it will achieve. And I thank God, even before, New Skin talked about India market 16 years ago, saying yes to this business because I want to really help launch this business in Vietnam. And, to date, my husband and I truly live the life that we believe that everybody wants, which is time and financial leverage. And, we really have a thriving business that expand in more than 40 country, and still really having the time to be with our four boys. And we realize as business individual, there's five components that really make up a great opportunity, a great business. And we've seen that no matter how the economy happen out there, that the company that have these five component really are growing and thriving in the marketplace. And I want to take a few quick minutes to share my story, what have led me, because I believe each and every one of us, we have a story, of our life, of our dream, our aspiration. And my family, we left our country for freedom. We left our country 46 years ago, and seek for the American dream. When we came here, I was 9 years old. Actually, I was the middle kid of nine children. And I know as immigrant, if you're here in India or coming from another country, I believe many people, if they could, they want to come here to the U.S. because this is where the land of opportunity. This is where dream do come true if you have the aspiration to pursue it. And since my parent, they don't speak English, they don't have a college degree, so they do what they did best. They bought a fishing boats, and because they came from generation of fishermen, and that's how they raised nine of us. And so being young, we even though we live in California, but I never visit Disneyland or Planet Hollywood, because we were poor. My vacation is going down to the wharf to pick up my dad, and as you can see there, at least I'm so grateful because we have Salvation Army, for our clothes when we first came here 46 years ago. And being someone who was young, I didn't see business as something I want to pursue, but I love, helping people. So I choose a career nursing. But, everything changed when someone near to me, my own brother, respond to a business opportunity, and he brought me down, and I saw a business model that totally different than anything I've heard. The speaker was talking about, we don't care where you came from, how young you are, as long you have a dream, desire, and discipline, then you can turn all that dream into reality. And somewhere I fell in love with what he said, because my dream was I want to retire my mom and dad. And I tell you why, wrapping up nursing school, I venture on what we call now is a part-time gig. And during that part-time gig, I didn't make a lot of money, but I learned something different. I learned that, here in America, you don't have to work 40 years of your life and have nothing to show for it. I've learned that there's a better way to live life in America if you have the courage to pursue your dream, that there's a vehicle that allows you to own a business with a system that can really give you the dream and the lifestyle that only the wealthy people can live. And it totally changed my mind. And because I looked at my brother who was an engineer, my sister a doctor, a chiropractor, they all worked trading time for money and making enough just to pay bills, and nobody have leftover money to spill over to my parents. And so I'm like, you know what, if there's a better way of shorting cut 40 years of work into 4 or 5 years, I'm willing to do it. All right. And so I continue and persist in that industry, even though I move on to a different company. Our product was financial service, and I found mentor that believe in me, believe in the dream. I remember my mentor right here by the name of Hubert Humphrey. He said, Terry, I believe that you can retire your mom and dad, and I believe in you. And sometime in life, to have someone who believe in you enough, it gave you the courage because you have someone who can mentor you, who already successful, who already have the life that you want. And so if I follow my mentor 13 years in that industry, 4 years working with him, I made my first million at the age of 27 years old and risen up to diamond, club, and won MVP awards, as you can see here. And the best part is during that time, I was able to retire my mom and dad back in 2004. And bought my first home and really lived the dream that a young entrepreneur, a young individual, and life was great. Take my parents to their first vacation to Hawaii. I mean, I felt, I achieved all my dream, and then, the market crashed in 2008, everything fell apart. I found myself, hitting bottom, close to bankruptcy, and lost my home. And I believe that, it happened to many of us, when we thought everything was good, and then we hit bottom. And I truly believe it's not only me, during that time so many people and life get impact. But one thing I always believe is when life, at every crisis there's always opportunity. I always believe that when life give you lemon, you make lemonade out of it. And I with that optimistic, type of mindset, it has helped me to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I pray, I say, God, I'm 35 years old, I'm broke, I'm on my mom and dad living room. I need to find, the last business that I can say this is it. That, but this time around, I want to help other people. I want to help individual like Michelle. I see there's Lorene on here. I see, and wherever you're dialing in from, but I truly believe that my question at that time was is no longer about my dream. I want to find a business that can allow average ordinary people, the opportunity to really live their dream if we align with the right vehicle and saying yes to this company and having that vision of making an impact in other people's life. We went to work, hard with also a promise of expanding this business into Vietnam. And so, a few years into the business, I found my business partner, Ben, who also, come from an engineer background, a business entrepreneur, and we saw the same vision of really, bringing value into a community and into other community. And so we worked real hard for 4 years. We achieved, New Skin pay us over $1 million, and we also fulfill the dream of expanding this business into Vietnam in 2013. And that's why we're so excited right now because, but we want to put the same thing, the leadership team, to help expand into the India market because we has able to build 40, right now, 40 individual that has earned over $1 million commission through this company. And they all came from different background, from engineer. The second person I talked to was engineer, Dean Nguyen. He is now, it's at $10 million circle. He's also one of the catalysts to really bring our leadership team to Vietnam. And so now there's, our focus, moving forward is like at the India market, right? And so it doesn't matter who you are, what background you came from, this is even bigger than Vietnam market that we helped launch. And 5 years into the business, this is our Vietnamese community, at an event that we host. My husband and I is here, and they all came from different background. And we see the possibility, not only, with our community, but we have been able to bless and expand and build leadership team in many other communities as well. And we believe that because, not only here in the United States, that, no matter where I travel in the world, I see people, want to earn extra income. They want to have their own business. They want to be the CEO of their own life, and they want time flexibility for them and their family, right? Or travel opportunity, or be a part of a community that want to give back, a community that, you know, um, striving for time and financial leverage. And that's what we offer here with Nu Skin, as we expand into the Indian market. And so talking about why we are confident that once we launch the Indian market, that we will, within time, will be the number one company. Because when we opened Vietnam and our leadership team went to Vietnam in 2013, I mean, there were already hundreds of company in this industry in Vietnam, but within a few years, we became the number one, in the Vietnam market. A few years, in a row, we were named number one. And so why? Because we focus on the trend, we focus on what's needed in the marketplace. And we believe this is similar to in India market. We're talking about the Internet of Things. We're talking about AI, artificial intelligence. We're talking about beauty and wellness, especially wellness. We believe that that's really something that the Indian market want to focus on. And then important as well is a social commerce, right? I mean, people want to really, today with social technology and all of that, the world become our domain, right? And then the gig economy that, people want a side gig, especially after 2020, people want to work anywhere, any place with anybody, right? In any time. And that's the beauty of that. Our company embrace all of this. Talk about the company, who are we? New is nutrition, skin is skincare. I mean, this is the only company in the world that totally profit, from two biggest industry in the world, and they've been around for 40 years. When I got involved, they were 25 years, and now we just, going on our 41 years. That's how solid we are in the marketplace. And we generate over a few billion a year. We know by the time we launch India market, we're probably gonna be, a 5 billion, a $10 billion company. And most important is we're a public trade company. I've been part of there's so many private health company out there, and they can say and do whatever they do without regulation. But being a public trade company, we're being regulated by two of the biggest government agency here in America. The FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, and the SEC, the Security Exchange Commission, and they regulate us. And to know that, we're doing all the right things, and all our I or dot all our T across to make sure that we really bring value to the consumer out there. And so we're excited to be part of, and we know we have a great future because we have a great history. And so not only I'm so excited because I live only 20 minutes away from our headquarters here in Provo, Utah, right? And we also have another innovation center in Shanghai, China as well. but our product is, innovations made here in the US. And see, being a nursing background, I want to make sure that the products, really say what it does and it really bring value, especially to those that I'm going to share this product with. The founder of our company, through Pharmanex, which New Skin put out over $120 million to bought out a company called Pharmanex more than 20 years ago. And their products used to be putting in thousands of pharmacies in the US. And these are the founder of Pharmanex, Dr. Joseph Chang. He's now our chief scientific officer, Carl Rossi, right? If from Stanford University, you probably never heard of Carl Rossi, PhD scientist, but he literally the man that invented the birth control pill, right? We all know the birth control pill. And so these are the founder farmers. But beside that, New Skin also have over 75 in-house scientists. There are so many companies in the world out there, and they have like one doctor, or a few scientists. We have over 75 scientists, and we literally have no competition out there because most company out there, they're treating the sign of aging, and we going to the source. New Skin going to the source of aging. We're talking about genetic. We're talking about understanding DNA. And so that's what really make us different than any other company out there in the marketplace, right? And our products, literally award-winning technology. We believe, remember, new nutrition, skincare. We want to help people look good, feel good, and live well. That's really the mission of this company, through our beauty and nutrition products, right? And so right now we know, as we focus on India market, we believe, if I heard somewhere there's thousand and thousand of spa in India. When we came in, my husband especially saw a vision for our Vietnamese community, because there's so many nail and salon here in North America, and they literally, as Asian, we believe in working hard and trading our sweat equity. And so the vision that we saw in our communities, if we can bring these beauty technology into the spa, now they don't call it nail, they call it nail and spa. And so we're very successful, able to come up with a franchise without the franchise fee. Is a business model that the salon can use the products as a service and make money as service, and at the same time selling these innovation technology to the marketplace. And here in the US, the customer, they like product that are that has no harsh chemical. And so we were very successfully launching this into our community 16 years ago. And again, we're gonna duplicate the same, we call it spa club system into the India market, for those individual that already is in the business. And this Renew Spa is an FDA approved technology. It's not just a beauty device. It really helps circulates and work on the pressure points. It's considered as a wellness device. And I want to show you a little bit on how this technology really works.
Ese es el tema de flacidez. Sí. De estar subiendo y bajando de peso, pues tuve esta flacidez. Este es el brazo totalmente tonificado.
¡Wow! ¡Qué resultado, Joanita! Maravilloso.
So this technology is really not only here in the US, I mean Latin America, as we expand this into the Latin market, it took by storm, because women there really care for their look as well. And our team in Vietnam, they live upstairs, but they have their at-home spa at downstairs, and it literally help generate the income for these at-home spa in Vietnam as well, and here in the US. And so that's the beauty side of our business. And the people literally, once we let them experience the products, they can see the difference. Like you see that lady doing half of her arm. Not only it's reduced the size, it's able to help with cellulite, it's also remove and help blood flow. So it's really considered a health device by the FDA here in the US. And so again, another product that we know it will be a game changer in India market is our biphotonic scanner. The first scanner, as you can see, is huge. And even right now with the S3 version, and now it's even getting smaller, like a credit card device. And this biphotonic scanner, I want to show you a quick video on how this evolution and how the scanner can in 15 seconds can change someone's life through measuring their antioxidant level. And I want to show you a little bit of history on this scanner and why right now we're excited, and we know this technology will take, India market by storm, not only here in the US as we launch this, we call it Prism IO, but it will definitely take it by storm into the India market as we do our pre-launch this November. Okay, so let me show you real quick on our video here. As you can see, it is the next step in the beauty and wellness evolutions. And this Prism IO, as you can see here, will be in every millions. Right, they're fast, small, affordable, portable, and powerful because no one in the world has this technology where you can scan someone antioxidant level. And more of that because this, even though right now with the S3, I mean, this scanner is sitting in a lot of medical doctor, chiropractor here in the US market, but it's too expensive to to buy it. So many of these doctors just lease it. But with the Prism IO, I'm waiting for mine coming like next month. I'm excited. But people can buy it, right? But it's not available for everybody. It won't be available for everybody to 2027. But there are, 25,000 unit will be, available for yourself or anybody who's literally see the visions. And there's only 25,000 unit for the last quarter. And once you know your score, because within less than a minute right now, you get to know, your antioxidant score, as you can see here from red all the way up to, blue and purple. And our product, we guarantee, to increase your score. Our product is featured on the doctor reference book here in the US. So that's really, to me, it's credibility because as a nurse, I want to make sure the product really deliver. And so once someone, because the products right now with so many supplement out there, how do you know it's working, right? And so with our scanner, we call it the nutrition lie detector test. And so we challenge you. Of course, if you're Indian calling in, then we don't have the technology right now. But if you call in somewhere, in Europe or Vietnam, we have these scanner. And so with our health and beauty product, people literally see the result with their own eyes, especially with our supplement. When you take care of your bodies, it will appears on your skin. So we believe that when people can literally visually see the different, it will impact them emotionally. And that's why it really drive the consumption of our product month in and month out. When I was in the financial business, how many times does, we have client refinance their home or buying a house, right? But here when someone use our product and literally see the difference, they're on the products month in, month out, year in, year out. I have customers that are happy 16 years ago, and that's what really drive the consumption of our products. Um, which generate what we call as residual income. But not only women these days care about their look, what we found out, even men, men out there, you know, want to look good and feel good, right? And so at the heart of Nu Skin, we believe in giving back, especially the starving children around the world. And we believe these Vitamilk, because, you know, we challenge you to be part of this, giving back to the children of the world. By buying a nutrition bag of Vitamilks, you can able to save and give 30 nutrition Vitamilks to a child that needs the nutrition. And so I believe this Vitamilk do get shipped to India as well. Now, beside besides South Africa and some Latin community, to date we have feed over 850 million of these vitamins. We challenge you to be a part of our initiative of feeding a million of these meals to starving children around the world. And I believe, see, because that's what attract me to the business as well. They're not just about making money, because most company out there, all they care is about profit. But this company truly care about children, especially unfortunate children around the world, right? And so with Nu Skin, beside the financial reward, Nu Skin also every 6 months will take someone on an all expense paid trip to dream destination. I know we're probably going to have the same program in India as we launch India market, because I have leaders in Southeast Asia, in the Pacifica. They go on, I have a leader who just came back from Amsterdam, from Vietnam market, right here in the US. Our success trip was in Paris, right? So imagine that. How hard do you have to work at your job for them to take you on a trip like this, right? If you can give me a quick minute. All right. And so that's our success trip. And so why we believe, with expansion of India market is, it took this company 40 years to prepare for the biggest market in the world, because there's 1.4 billion, India around the world, right? And I mean, we're talking about the biggest, population, right? And so we believe that, with our industry, right now is already generating over $3 billion of revenue, in the direct sales in India market. We're not the first kid on the block. I mean, the numbers already proven, and it grows by 13% every year in the India market. And today in India, there's already 12 million distributor, involving in the direct sale industry in India. And so we know the market is ready, especially for Nu Skin to be in India. Right? And Nu Skin did the research and found out that, what is it that, yeah, what's the demand in India? 74%, the market demand wellness product. And that's what we do best as Nu Skin in the last 40 years. And only 70% are in the beauty. Imagine that only 9% are in the other market, right? When I grew up in Silicon Valley, of course, high tech technology is huge in where I live. But here, as you can see, India, this is their demand is huge in the wellness industry. And we know that these companies have done significant well already, being in India market. Imagine that. I mean, they're earning close to $1 billion, like just in India market, as Herbalife. These are company, but we know that once we have our pre-launch in November, give us a few years, we will be the number one in India market. I have no doubt. And so what we realized as a company, and the research they did as well, Nu Skin did, and they realized that by 2030, the gig economy, which is a side gig, I mean, the younger population in India, they don't want to be boxed in. They literally, think outside the box. The workforce is changing. A lot of them are young millennial. They want to work anywhere, any place. Gig meaning side gig. They want to literally have a business, of their own that give them flexibility. And so that's what Nu Skin is all about. Our opportunity is allowing an individual to really having that gig, part-time gig, and it's so perfectly positioning to take over the Indian market. And guess what? Right now, if you're on the Zoom here today, you don't need to wait until we open India. There are India, everywhere around the world. I mean, 6.3 million are in North America market, right? And 3.7 Southeast Asia. When I went to Singapore, literally yesterday, I have two India, one living, in Vietnam for 14 years, one came 4 years ago, right? There was India and Vietnam, right? And then there was India in Australia, New Zealand, in UK, 3.5 million. And so you don't need to wait. You don't need to wait to expand and own your piece of the Indian market right now. That's why we say think globally, but build locally, where your local market is right now. I'm excited to, going back to California every month because where I, grew up in California, North and South, there's a lot of India, right? And so we know the trend is there. And this company, we know India demand different products than US, and the price point has to be, you know, um, uh, it has to make sense for India market. Just like when we launched Vietnam market, the price point has to be, lower, way lower than the US market. So these are the India product portfolio that we will launch, in the marketplace. We have a premium, you know um for healthcare products, and we're looking at price point anywhere from 25 to $50, right? We have here in the US, of course, we have product that's like our Life Pack Nano up to 100. And so we want to make sure that our age lock products, age lock, that's what it is. I mean, you know I'm pretty sure, people in India want to lock in their age too, right? And so I love the fact that age lock product that I used for 16 years helped me look younger than 51 years old, right? And then our prestige products, our new skin and Forminex brand from a health and beauty. I mean, we're looking at price point of 18 to $30, each, right? And then our mass prestige, this is for, salon, because we realize that's also a huge, a sector of the Indian market is the salon, because the company went there, they did the research, they see there's thousands and thousands of salon, and so these are the product for the professional in the salon industry, and also products, beauty products, for your everyday use, like the Scan deodorant. I mean, because Vietnam, this is our number one selling product in Vietnam, which is the natural ingredient, the deodorant that really can stand the heat, keeping it dry. So our team in Vietnam love this product. It's like almost they is sell like hot cake. So this also be available in India market. I mean, we're talk about $6 to 18 US dollar on these products, right? And so these are, as you can see, it's already, package is already, these are pre-packaged, already ready to go, prepare for our November launch into the India market. Okay, and so these are, we talk about at-home beauty device product, because we know it's going to be similar to Vietnam market, where people probably have at-home spa, right, in India. And so these are, made specifically for, the at-home, daily uses for the beauty products. And this is for targeting for the premier, the salon. A few days ago, I spoke with a professional young lady in India, and she's really well connected with a lot of the beauty salon there. And she said, Terry, there's a lot of also high-end salon here in India, and so she's really excited about bringing this into that sector of the market. And we really, as a team, we really have the vision to really incorporate this into salon. We have poster, banner, we have a system, we have menu, and so we know we will lead the charge for the salon in the Indian market. And so these are the individual that right now can really start building their business and owning and be part of the founder club in the Indian market. This is the first time that Nu Skin launching a market, and what they do is they take in a percentage of the revenue as we launch the market in November. They're going to put in a pool, and you get to share in it. And so I'm pretty sure you probably know someone right now. I don't know anybody in India, but so far, we have signed up already in India. A businessman here in Utah. He has kiosks in the mall, and he has a lot of connection in India. So he's real excited. He become a brand representative already, and every day I'm constantly on the phone doing a lot of three-way call, presenting, there's a lot of excitement surrounding, as we prepare to launch the Indian market. But I want to go through real quick on the compensation, understand that, uh, India market will be different, but I want to share with you the possibility, right now, as you speak in the US market, someone can make, anywhere from a few $100s to 30, 40,000 a month. As you can see here, moving up to Blue Diamond Director, 36,000 a month. When my husband and I came in as a business individual, I was surprised that someone can earn 30, 40,000 a month. All right. And so it took us 4 years to get there. The average, what we saw is 10 years. And so my question to you is do what you do. Or if we talk about India market, I mean, someone would be happy with 1,000, 500, 1,000 a month. Because when we share this with our your community in Vietnam, I mean, they average around $300 to $500 a month. A CEO, a president of a bank, they make around 1,000, 2,000. And so after launching this into Vietnam market, I mean, we have thousand. When I came back for the 5-year anniversary of Vietnam opening, I see thousand of stay-at-home mom, coming and hugging me and say thank you. They're earning $500, and that allowed them to be a stay-at-home mom, be with their kid. And so we see the possibility as we launch the India market, and we have leaders. We built leaders, from moving from, brand representative all the way to Blue Diamond. We have over 40, 50 Blue Diamond in our team. So we know what it takes to build and open the market and open distribution channel. This is not our first run, and so we know we have the experience to help you to open and expand, your distribution channel in the biggest market, which is India, right? And so you can be the early innovation, before we launch the Prismaio here in North America and channel over into, India. And, you can be the early mover, working with us, to expand, in India market, or you become lagger. One thing I've learned in business is, good things come to those who wait, but only what left over from those who hustle. And so right now we're hustling, we're excited. I mean, 16 years in this company, I've never seen something like that. It's like a perfect storm, what we're going through, and this company continue, to innovate, continue to, acquire new technology. I mean, we spend over $300 million of innovation of AI technology, of gene database. And so literally this company is poised to take over whatever market that will expand, even now going into India market, right? And so I'm gonna wrap up with, um, you know, the sky is really the limit here with our business, that you can live your dream, whatever that may be. I don't promise you that or guarantee that you make 10, 20, 30,000 a month, because this is your business. You decide, about how big you want to build this, because know that you're going to have a system and the leadership team that's going to help you. I've never imagined that there will be a day that I'm able to go back to my country, because I never imagined going back to my country, but thanks to this business, it allowed me to really travel, to my country, and I get a chance to also live in my country for, over a year, and bring my dad home. His last dying wish is to be home in motherland, and I was able to fulfill that for my dad, and to be a part of, and to really understand my country, to able to, stay nearby the villa. That's why I rent for my dad, for 4 months. And if you right now, India, or you live wherever you are in the world beside India, imagine that you're able to give back to your community. You're able to bring value to your community in India, while you could be in UK, US, or wherever you're at, right? And that was my vision, because I knew my community in Vietnam, they don't have opportunity. And I truly, I watched Slumdog Millionaire years ago, and I know that there's part of India that people, have dreamed, but there's not much opportunity, right? And so, for me to able to, in 2020, the world went upside down, right? And to able to, using technology, and and able to build a business that actually 2020, 2021, and 2022 is my best 3 years in this business. because we expand beyond, brick and mortar business. We went on Zoom. And so if you can have a business right now that would thrive, that is recession proof, right? From the comfort of where you're at right now, that you can, the word become your domain, as you, built your business, you don't wait until November when I'm already, planning my trip and my husband to be in India. We're going to go Vietnam first and skip over to India. But whatever you built here, the best thing about this business that I have never seen anywhere is you can leave a legacy. What you built here, you can will it to your kid. I was able to talk to a few India, dentists, doctor degree. But guess what? If your children grow up and they don't want to be a dentist or doctor, guess what? You probably have to close down the clinic, right? But whatever you built here, you can will it to your children. And I love that. This new skin opportunity allow us to do that and allow me every day to feel like I can make a difference. Growing up being the middle kid, I felt like I'm the forgotten one. Through this business model, through the journey with New Skin, allow me to really every day waking up and feel with joy because I know that, but like when I was sharing in front of 6,000 people in Singapore, 7 years ago, talk about dream, talk about believe, and I truly believe that dream does not have to be a dream. It's a matter of decision that you decide today, to be a part of, our biggest launch, to be a part of our leadership team, to really build that you don't have to settle, just, work for someone 40 years. Because I know people work in India too, not here in North America, right? Whatever degree you get, instead of working 40 years, and you might not have nothing to show for. What we just show you here today is you can shortcut your 40 years of working hard to 3 to 5 years of working smart, right? Working smart. And then you can take the rest of your life off doing the things that you want to do with your family, right? I don't make any promises, but my question to you is doing what you do 3, 5, 10 years ago got you exactly where you are today. And so as we launch the India market, I just spoke with someone who's really, but well connecting India. And she said, yeah, Terry, I mean, I work for, 20, 30 years and now I want to do something different. I want to able to give back to my community, but I don't want to work, hard, right? And we know that, this huge wave as we launch India market, as we launch Prism.io, we want you to position in front of the wave. We don't ask no one can create the wave, right? It's going to happen with or without you. We ask you to jump on and ride the wave with us, right? Signing up, here in the US is free, but there are a few steps that, if you right now, India, and you're in our approved market, in UK or in Vietnam, there's way that you can sign up in that local market first right now. And I know here the US is free. And then, connect with the person who invite you and their senior coaches to go through, a game plan, tell them what is it your goal, what is that, in the next 3 to 5 year, how your life, what is it that you want to achieve, right? And then launch your business now before we open India market, right? And so I just want to wrap it up that there are a moment in our life that we make decision that can change our destiny. And this is one of the historic moment, in history, because 3 to 5 years from now, when Nu Skin become a 5 billion, $10 billion company, and India, where we have satellite office and corporate office in India, you could have asked yourself, you know what, I was there before India market opened, just like how we launched Vietnam market in 2012. There are people who wish that they should, could, or would, right? The worst decision, the worst feeling in life is regret, right? And so I challenge you, and we're gonna do a lot of more India presentations, in the days to come. You can invite your friends, your Indian, prospect, because they might want, to able to, bring value to their community in India, or they always dream about having a business in their homeland, and they can still live in UK, they can still live in the US, right? And so same thing here. Every night when I go sleep, I own a piece of Vietnam market. When I go sleep, Vietnam open, and that is a great feeling. Like Warren Buffett say, if you don't have a business that you make money when you sleep, then you have to work for the rest of your life. And thanks to this business, my husband and I can go to sleep and still have a business in 32 country, in Vietnam, in Pacifica, that are earning money for us, right? And so thank you so much for joining us on the Zoom here today. I just go ahead and just just wrap it up, Michelle. And so we appreciate you. Thank you so much, Michelle, for opening up our MC today. And we're excited in the days to come to do more of this Indian presentation, for you to invite your guests and connect with the person who invite you. And so kind of go through the Q&A questions and answer. All right. If you're new on here, I do look forward to get a chance to connect with you as well. All right. Thank you so much. And you take care and God bless. All right. Bye-bye now.
Sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a good feeling, yeah. Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a good feeling, yeah.
Yes, I can. Doubt, better leave. I'm running with this plan. Pull me, grab me, crabs in the bucket, can't have me. I'll be the president one day. January 1st. Oh, you like that